have to suffer for it, even if I have to flee my homeland, like some kind of refugee. I don't care. I will do what is right, regardless. You know, I tried working. You know, I tried going to 2 job interviews. I had a panic attack once before even getting the job, and once before even showing up for the first day of work. I can't work, bro. Not for a slave company, anyway.
I don't blame you, Vinny. And it was funny here. I was doing an interview in Zagreb just a few days ago, and the journalist looked at me and he said, "Has the pharmaceutical industry ever approached you?" And I said, "Oh yes, I've been approached by more than one pharmaceutical company." And he said, "Well, what did they say?" And I said, "Well, one offered me 1 million shares if I was willing to work with them." And he looked at me. He said, "So you're working with the pharmaceutical companies?" And I said, "No, I refused it." And he looked at me and he said, "You turned down 1 million shares in a pharmaceutical company?" And I said to him, I said, "Look," I said, "this medicine belongs to the people. It doesn't belong to some damn drug company, and it doesn't belong to any government." That's the reason I refused their offer. And I mean, to be honest, Vinny, I want to see the pharmaceutical industry put out of business.
Bang! Like a double
right.
tap to the cerebellum.
You're quite right, brother.
I mean, think about it.
Like I said, you know, it's just wonderful to see it spreading the way it is now. I mean, there's a new wellness center down in Peru. Some friends of mine are down there now, and they're treating people with the oil. I had to laugh. The first patient came from Canada. They flew all the way to Peru to get the oil. But it's opening up everywhere. I did the speaking tour back in August in British Columbia. And beautiful. That's a beautiful province. I've never been there before, but it is every bit, you know, when you see the mountains and the ruggedness of that country out there, it's just beautiful. But we covered 2,600 miles in an old motorhome, me and another fellow, and we put on a lot of events. I got to meet Dr. Neil McKinney. He's a naturopathic oncologist. Wonderful guy, and he come up and he gave me his book. He's got a great book out on the subject, and he told me when he gave me the book, he said on the next edition, he said there's going to be a big chapter in there about this oil. And then I spoke at an establishment called Weeds in Vancouver, and Dr. Paul Hornby was also there. So you know, we did the speaking engagement together. We spoke twice. And after we were done, like Paul, it's quite a contrast because I'm somewhat like you. I'm quite loud and I'm a bit outspoken. But Paul is a very soft-spoken man, but he is truly an expert in this field. So after we were done with the lectures, Paul and I went down to a restaurant. And he sat there and he looked at me and he said, "Rick," he said, "how did you come up with all of this?" And I said, "Well, I just followed gut instinct. You know," I said, "I was injured. I needed an answer, you know, to save my life." And I said, "I found it." And he looked at me and he had this laptop with him and he said, "Well, let me show you where your gut instinct led you." And at first I didn't know what to make of it. And then he turned the computer around and he showed me this screen. And there was it was like a screen full of charts. And, you know, all of these different levels. And all of a sudden, right in the middle, there was one that went right up off the scale. So Paul sat there and he explained, he said, this oil, you know, was made by, he started telling me who made the different oils. And when he got to the one in the middle, he looked at me and he said, "This is your oil." He said, "I made it myself." And he said, when I tested it, he said, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. He said, that simple method you showed everybody how to do, he said, it achieves perfect decarboxylation. And, you know, so that, you know, it makes the medicine, and it puts the medicine in its most medicinal state.
Well, if it's
so
got
Paul
perfect,
said he would be happy.
If it's got perfect decarboxylation, that would explain why the pharmaceutical companies are so discombobulated by it.
But Paul said he would be happy to work with me in the future. And, you know, with the help of Dr. Hornby and people like Dr. Lemire Hanoush, in no time, you know, we could bring this medicine down and you know, and perfect it in a very short time. Now, I mean, in the future, I want to grow the most medicinal strains in the world and, you know, do some, I'm a breeder anyway, so I'd like to do some crossing and then determine which strains work the best for what conditions. And then with the help of Dr. Hornby and Dr. Hanoush, we could sit down and basically make this medicine tailor-made. Certain cannabinoid levels, whatever is the best cannabinoid levels to treat any different illness. And so it's a very simple thing. But, like medicine made to order, well, there would be a price tag, I guess, attached to that. So, I mean, I don't think any of us should ignore the healing power of the plant itself. And if you've got the right strain, brother, you can heal just about anything.
I believe so. Now, interestingly enough, if cannabis oil can heal everything, then have a look at what pharmaceutical drugs use. They use oil. In fact, this is where originally the pharmaceutical industry began, was with the Rockefeller US Standard Oil Company. They had all of this waste product, this waste byproduct, and they didn't have any idea what to do with it. And they thought, man, this'll kill anything it touches. We can't bury it, we can't put it in the water, we can't put it on the land, we can't put it in the sea. Let's turn it into drugs and make people swallow it.
Well, that's what they did, Vinny. That's exactly right.
And now, the medical system in the United States is the second leading cause of death.
I disagree with that. I think they're the leading cause of death.
But this is only including that which is properly prescribed. This doesn't include any accidents, and this doesn't include unreported reactions and so on and so forth. So you're correct. Even by this is their own admission that we're the second leading cause of death. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with Rick Simpson, phoenixtears.ca. You can go and watch the video Run from the Cure and learn how to make your own cannabis oil and heal yourself. We'll be right back.
No matter where you live, globalism affects you. Did you know that the Vinnie Eastwood Show has more subscribers than New Zealand Herald TV and is New Zealand's most popular YouTube news channel, where warm-hearted humour and a list of awesome guests talk about crucial issues which the mainstream media ignore. A show where you, the listener, can phone up with questions, comments and suggestions of guests. Vinnie is building a hub to connect truthers with raw information they need to become active. He can help you gain further skills such as website building, producing audio and video, and creating revenue streams in your own multimedia environment. Because Vinnie supports such a wide range of people in the truth movement, he is not government or corporate backed and relies entirely on your donations. Give now, give generously, or subscribe for $10 a month for access to ad-free video archives. Just visit thevinnieeastwoodshow.com and click donate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vinnie Eastwood Show. It's a world that has a lot of people twisting the truth, and it's very, very sad to see. Justice is not a natural thing, ladies and gentlemen. When was the last time you saw a gazelle beat the crap out of a lion because he ate his little baby? It doesn't frickin' happen in nature, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the case. You have to artificially make justice happen. If it's unjust that people are dying left, right and centre because all the cancer cures are being suppressed, then you have to make the cancer cure available. You have to give people the knowledge, and you have to basically give of yourself in order to ensure that the truth and justice comes into view. Anybody else who says different is frickin' kidding themselves.
Well, you're so right, Vinny. There's so many people out there now twisting the truth and, their hidden agendas and things like that. And, just recently I was contacted by Cannabis Nation Radio in California, and they wanted me to do an interview, so I agreed. And about 2 days later, they were only going to give me about 30 minutes airtime. And about 2 days later, they sent me this email, and they said, send us the 20 questions you would like to be asked. And as soon as I read that, the alarm